Hello my friends. An interesting topic. A spiritual weather alert. Whatever could that mean? Well, I was guided to do this short video to try and explain some of the strange happenings that are going on today in the spiritual weather forecasting from around the world. And I do not profess to be an expert in spiritual weather forecasts, but I can only speak to you from my heart. Let's imagine that we're a satellite looking down from one of the great weather stations in the galaxy on planet Earth. What do we see? Do we see calm? Do we see turbulence? I think, if the truth be told, we see a lot of turbulence. A lot of turbulence caused by man's inhumanity to man. And many years ago I had the privilege of reading some of Wolf Moondance's interesting articles, and in one of them she said, "Where in history has mankind taken such a turn to show such brutality towards one's fellow brothers and sisters? Where have we begun to be so destructible and alienate the innocent from enjoying the peace of God?" Well, this spiritual weather alert could really say something like, there are lots of prophets forecasting gloom and doom. In fact, last Saturday evening at 5 o'clock, whilst having my meal, Brother Rob said something to me which sort of took my breath. He said, "Oh, the world is going to end at 6 o'clock according to some American evangelists." And I said, well, I best carry on doing what I'm doing and enjoy it and offer it as a prayer. He said, "Are you not going to make any plans?" I said, well, all the plans I've made, I'm living by them each day. So there's no need to be frightened or panic struck. And that's what's happening today in a lot of the spiritual forecasting from a lot of the New Age hocus pocus fraternity. They're prophesying gloom and doom. You only have to look at the news programs, the media. It's saturated with negativity. It destroys hope. And what it does, we feed off it. Because they know that papers don't sell without smut, without fear. So they're controlling our minds. And I believe it takes a person of real courage, don't you think, to not buy into that. And thank God there are quite a few people now who are sensible enough to give the news a miss and to avoid reading the daily mags. So what would a spiritual weather warning be for you and me today? I think the message will be like this. Do what you do and do it well. But remember, you're doing it for the highest good of all. Within your heart, honor your sacred contract. Honor what you were guided to do. Honor the message of God to your heart in your quiet times. Instead of feeding on a diet of fear, control, feed on a diet of love and peace and joy. Make time to connect with the divine through the natural world. That is the soul of St. Francis. Come to the divine through the cathedral of life. Listen to the birds singing, the choristers of God. And give all the spiritual negative warnings and prophecies a miss. Because if you're aligned in your heart, you will have a direct weather report from God. And the messengers of God, the archangels and angels, are not Christian. They are not religious, and they do not represent any belief system known to man. As messengers of God, They are the managers of our diversity, and they embrace all faiths and none, even though the New Age fraternity have taken them on board as a talisman. And when you walk around, you see all these people at the angel conventions with the biggest all singing, dancing brooches of angels. And you see the tarot readers reading with their lovely statue of an angel and flowers beautifully picked. But all they're doing is dabbling in negativity and working on our animal instincts where we need more and more. And we've lost it then. So a spiritual warning that's positive would be, take back your power today. Take back your power from those who control you. Be your own person. Come back into your comfort zone, which is a loving relationship with your God. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and all else will be given to you. Isn't that what Jesus taught us? Living a simple life as I do now, as an enclosed Franciscan monk who embraces interfaith, I take the message of Francis very seriously. A message that he gave us back in July 2006, to unite all faiths and none through love, through basic human kindness and hospitality. And again in April 2008, when I knelt at his tomb, I had no aspirations to go to Assisi, but it was made possible for me to be there. And all I remember is I wept for Britain. But then I was asked to set up a lay monastic community for men and women of different faiths to come together and sing the praises of the one God, known by many names, and to live together in peace, or live as independent monastics, members of the Teo community of St. Francis, from their own monastery without walls, adopting their own rule of life. A simple promise, an enormous challenge, and one that's met with a lot of rejection for a lot of us. Not from family, but from our established churches. So we listen to the spiritual weather warnings that come to our heart in prayer. And our God is a God of joy and peace, not a God of fear. Fear, as you know, is an illusion. It feeds us. It feeds off our own feelings. We actually give it our power. And it leaves us in a place of entrapment. And you can always tell when you meet people who are fearful, and trying to communicate with them is not easy because they're not listening. They're hearing, but they're not listening. And it takes a lot of prayer, a lot of discipline to get to a place of listening to what the heart is saying. Oh, but there are the clever weather forecasters who say, let's procrastinate. Let's ask ourselves, what is that saying? No. Keeping it simple means honouring what your heart is guiding you to do, because your heart will be guided by the Spirit of God, by the love of God. The head responds to fear. For me, I believe the head, the ego, is the seedbed of the Antichrist, the one who tries to take us off our path and get us embroiled in lots of unsavory behaviors. And it makes us restless. It makes us want to go back to a lifestyle that will totally offend God. Let us unite, dear friends. Let us come together in love. Let us surrender our heart to the mystical heart of a loving Father, Mother God, of all faiths and none, who called you and I by name to come and break bread around one table where we are all equal. Bless you. Namaste. Shalom. Inshallah. Pax et Bona.